All right, are you guys excited to be at Planet Comicon? Do we have any Sharknado fans out there? How about American Pie? All right, well, you know our moderator from Bring It On and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's welcome Geek Nation's Claire Kramer.
Hey guys, I kind of feel like we made it all together, right, today? We made it through the day? Yeah? Did we make it through the day? I'm really excited to talk to our next guest. She's an untraditional comic convention guest, but she's a really cool lady. Please welcome Tara Reid.
What's up, everyone? Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Thanks for coming out today.
Is this your first time in Kansas City?
It is my first time in Kansas City.
Okay, so everyone is gonna ask you if you've eaten barbecue.
I ate it today. It was Joe's.
I had it too
for lunch. Yeah, Joe's barbecue. It was
so good,
it was
right?
so good.
I know. I'm like, I might have it.
Out.
I
just asked right now. I was like, "Is there any left in the green room?"
Yeah,
I want
I
my
ate it
second
all.
helping. Yeah. It was unbelievable.
It was so good. Okay, so you obviously American Pie. Who would know that this little film that was made in like 2000 would turn into like such an epic franchise and garner such popularity? When you first read the script, what were you thinking?
You know, it's funny, when we first read the script for that one, it wasn't even called American Pie. It was called, first it was called something like how to make something like how to make a bad cheesy comedy for under $10 million. I'm like, what kind of script is this? And then they changed it into East Grand Rapids High, which is a high school we went to in American Pie. And then they changed it into American Pie. So like just the titles kept changing. And that also happened with Sharknado. It was originally called Dark Skies, and then they called it Sharknado. So all these movies change the titles.
I love that with Sharknado that they just went for the, Dark Skies. Like that'd be probably a movie you'd skip past. Yeah.
Well, Dark Skies, for me, I thought, okay, I'll read this movie, and I thought, okay, flying sharks in the sky and a tornado, yeah, there's no way that I'm gonna do this film. It's like the worst script I've ever read, And that
too.
Yeah. And that night I went out to dinner with my friends, and I told them, I'm like, oh my God, I read this script and it's so bad. I'm like, it's about these sharks flying in the sky, and they're running in Beverly Hills, and they're going through the drains and jumping in pools, and we're chasing, and my friends were dying laughing. They're like, are you kidding me, Tara? That sounds hilarious. You gotta do this movie. And I'm like, no, and they're like, Tara, and it was called Dark Skies. So I thought, okay, here's a little movie called Dark Skies for sci-fi. I'll just kind of take the money and run and do it. No one will ever see this film. That's what I think.
Wrong.
Yeah. Little do I know, 4 days into shooting the movie, they come up to me and they say, we're changing the name to Sharknado. And I thought, no way, you cannot do this to me. I can't put Sharknado on my resume. Like, I'm never gonna work again. This is a disaster, So then what happens is Sharknado came out and became this huge hit. And then they're like, see, we told you Sharknado. I thought, oh my God, like what's going on?
That is amazing. Okay, guess what? Our second panelist has arrived. Please welcome Shannon Elizabeth. Come on out.
Yay!
Hello. Hi. Hi. Nice to see you. Have a seat. Have a seat. We're just talking about like sharks and pies. And
yeah, I
like that.
heard.
So I asked Tara this.
What was the name of the first script for American Pie? Do you remember?
Something about under 10 million.
Something
before
ridiculous.
East Great Falls.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
What did you think when you first read the script for American Pie?
No, I loved it, and I was excited to get a film that was a studio film. So excited, I twisted my ankle trying to run inside and tell my boyfriend at the time. So I was like inside crying and excited at the same time, going, oh, I got the movie, I twisted my ankle.
And
I
he's like,
actually
"What?"
remember the first time we had the table read. I never even told you this. We had this table read. That means like when the whole cast is like hired and you get together and read it out loud. Do you remember we had it in like Culver City or something? We all sat on the floor.
Was I
American Pie
there?
1. You were there, yeah.
Was I?
I remember the first time I saw you and I realized that you were gonna play Nadia. I was like, oh my God, this girl's so beautiful. It's true, I remember
you're
that.
so sweet.
It's true, I've never told you that
Thank
story.
And obviously, like, there was a lot of cast camaraderie, and there didn't seem to be too much competition amongst you guys. Would that be fair to say?
We all got along like
Yeah.
really well. I mean, no one really got, I mean, I think it was just kind of like everyone was new and fresh and starting off, so it wasn't really about egos yet, because it wasn't like anyone was a big star. It was all kind of equal. So we all, there's something about when you start off together in the beginning of a career, you kind of don't forget who you start off with. Now it's exactly the same, not exactly, but we have favorites.
Absolutely. Shannon, tell us about your time on Dancing with the Stars.
No, I'd rather not.
Okay.
I don't really talk about
Then
that.
let's
Let's
not
move
talk
on.
about that. Let's talk about but obviously you guys have been in the business for a really long time. Do you have aspirations to write or direct or move in that direction? Or do you feel like, you know what, I have to, how I serve the story best is being in front of the camera?
I've definitely written some stuff, and I've been over in Africa directing some stuff as well. I'd rather be behind the camera. I'm exactly opposite. I'm actually not comfortable in front of the camera. So
And
that's
what
I'm
kind of
doing.
stuff do you enjoy writing?
Honestly, I like to rewrite things. I like to fix things. I mean, I did write, I have written some stuff from scratch, but I don't know. It's got to be things that you know and that your heart's into. I mean, the pilot that I wrote was based on a real place with real stories. So I took all of those stories, incorporated it into a script. But I really like going in, and I'm like a fixer. I can see all the problems. I can add jokes in, make it funny, whatever it is. So I like to fix things.
Well, Carrie Fisher made a career of doing that, fixing scripts and going and writing. So
Yeah,
maybe
no,
you're-
a lot of people do. I think they're called the fixers.
it's a good, I think if you have the understanding of what works on camera, which obviously you guys have tons of on-camera experience, then you can translate that into that second arena, which is really helpful. Tara, do you have any desire to write or
I
direct?
definitely like to be in front of the camera, for sure. I love acting. I love being in front of the camera. I can't write for my life, so that's never going to happen. It would be the worst movie, definitely, of all time. The only thing I ever write is just to refix the lines. Like when you get certain lines that are just impossible to say because they make no sense, I'll rewrite my own lines to make it flow, but that's about as much writing as I get. I'll produce films that I like and passion projects to help get the funding and the movies going, but definitely not writing or, directing maybe one day, but not now.
After the first Sharknado came out, and you were like, "Oh, this is getting a really good reception," and Anthony came and said, "Okay, we're going to do a second one." What were you thinking?
I couldn't even believe the first one happened. I mean, it didn't make any sense. I just didn't get it. I wasn't even in the state. I was in Mexico, and my phone rings, and they're like, "Can you believe what's happening?" And I think like it was an earthquake in LA. Like something bad must have happened. I'm like, "What is it?" They're like, "It's Sharknado." I'm like, "What?" I didn't even know it was coming out that weekend. I had no clue because we did no press on it, like nothing. It was, they're like, "It's trending #1. It's getting 1 million hits on tweet per minute." And I'm like, "What? Like, am I getting punked? This is a joke." And then I get on the airplane to come back, and the stewardess says to me, "Oh my God, I love your movie." And I think, of course, they're talking about American Pie. That's all everyone's ever said to me. And then she's like, "Sharknado is amazing." And I go, "You got to be kidding me. Like, what is going on?" Like, it's crazy.
And now number 3, and then number 4s?
Yeah, we just finished 5. And,
oh my gosh.
We shot it. No, it's not stopping. They're going. We shot this one, and this is the craziest thing, because 5, at least the other ones we kept in America. And all of a sudden now in 5, we're shooting it in Bulgaria, London, Italy, like Tokyo, and we're like in front of Big Ben and like all these like monuments and like all over, the world. And I'm thinking, who ever thought that Sharknado were gonna be in all these places? Like it's going global. It's like Sharknado is a global, like, it's crazy. The sharks are everywhere now.
It is, and it's a good lesson, like, as an actor. Sometimes when you read a script, you literally, you read it and you think, "Oh, well, this is terrible," and it turns out to be a great movie, or vice versa. So what do you guys look for as actors when you're looking to take a role and when you first read that script?
Honestly, at this point right now, you look for obviously what you love and what you want to do, but those are the movies, like we said, that no one's ever going to see. So these kind of bad ones that you think are terrible, like Sharknado, those are the ones that everyone likes. So at this point in my life, I really don't even know. Like, my judgment is really off. I can't even tell you.
Like, it's all confusing.
It's really confusing.
Shannon?
I think you look for a variety of things. Sometimes it's a great director, or it's an actor you've always wanted to work with. Sometimes it's a great role. And like, I took a film because I got to sing in it. I'd never sung in a film. So sometimes you just want to do something different that challenges you, or you have to learn a talent to do it. And you probably spend longer learning that talent than you do filming the movie. So it could be anything.
Are you a singer?
No.
But you became one.
I mean, I grew up in choir, but I was always the girl that was so nervous when she'd sing that my voice would shake, and I could never get past that. And I was the girl that might get the solo, but barely. Like, it wasn't like a natural talent. It was like, I'm just good enough to maybe get it, but no, I'm gonna suck at it, so.
I could totally see you like on Nashville or something. I could.
I mean, I was in the studio, like, doing the vocals, and it was amazing. Then I went and did the film, and then the guys called me back in the studio, and they said, look, some of your stuff is amazing, and some we think we can do better, so come back in. And I loved that, so it gave me another shot at it.
Yeah,
so it was fun to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions for Shannon and Tara, you can line up at the mic. And while they're doing that, what are you guys passionate about on, what are you watching on television? What are you reading? Like, what are you listening to?
I like a lot of TV shows lately. Like, I'll go on like binges.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm not working and I have like a couple days off, there's nothing better than sitting in my house and just watching like a Netflix show like for 3 days in a row and not moving. Like, Orphan. Have you seen Orphan Black?
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
Orphan
I
Black.
just finished that, and have you seen that?
What is it?
Orphan Black.
No.
She's amazing.
So good. It's. Have you guys seen that Orphan Black?
Yes.
It's like, to me, I think that's one of the best. And as an actress, she plays like 8 personalities. Like,
And
but
she's
all
like
herself.
phenomenal
Who,
at
who
all.
are
of
we
them.
talking about? Who's she?
What is her?
Who's
What
in
did-
it?
Tatiana
Botswani.
Maslany.
Maslany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is just probably, I think, the best actress like of our generation right now. Like, it's insane. You should watch it. You'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
And you there's plenty to binge on.
yeah, there's like season after season. You watch it for like days.
Oh wow.
What
Okay.
about you? What are you into?
I just started watching on one of my airplane flights, Emerald City, which
So good.
and I didn't know where it originally aired, and I just realized it was an NBC show. I thought it was like Netflix or HBO. Like, it's so like, and I was a huge Wizard of Oz fan, and I think they've done such a great job making it new and gritty and dark. And
Oh yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio as
Yeah, the wizard.
The wizard is so good. His performance is like so inspired.
Well, and I think if you know the stories of the Wizard of Oz, not even just the movie, but some of the behind-the-scenes stories, you see everything in it. They just drop these little things in. I think it's so well done. I'm really like, I love watching it.
Yeah, I loved Emerald City.
Yeah.
Hi, we'll start with you.
Hi.
Oh, mic doesn't work.
Coming. I have a question for Tara. You were on one of the last episodes of Hell's Kitchen, and what was that really like? I mean, what's the real experience as far as you're concerned, as far as what they show us? They don't show us much. They just show people, the cook screwing up the food, and then
It's kind of like a madhouse in the kitchen. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in it's a real restaurant, but there's cameras everywhere. And you're really, because you truly are treated as a guest, so you're not part of, getting screamed at or anything. But Gordon Ramsay just goes like, nuts on everyone. And, some of the young chefs like really mess up on it. They'll burn something, and I'll be like, I told you not to do that, boom, and throw it back. So it's kind of like, it's almost like watching a play, or it's just, you don't know what's going to happen, like what's going to go on fire or whatever. So it was more of a comedy. It was fun.
was the food really good?
Not that good.
You said it was good.
I said it was okay, but in real life, I had to be nice.
She was honest. Hi, how are you?
Hello. I have a question for Tara. I was wanting to know how you got to be involved as a producer for Kill the Irishman.
That's an interesting story. My brother went to Ohio State, and he's the one that read this article about To Kill the Irishman, about the whole thing, about the whole Costa Nostra, and he told me about it, and then we bought the rights to the book, To Kill the Irishman. And then we optioned them, and then we hired a screenwriter, and we wrote the script, and then we cast it, and we made the film. So we actually really got that just from a newspaper article. And my brother went and did all the research and met him, and I love that film. I think it's a great film.
I just ask it because I love it too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's so interesting. You can find, stories anywhere, newspapers, magazine articles. Do you have any non-fictional characters you guys would like to play or develop a story around?
Go, Shannon.
No, not really.
Something to think about. Hi.
Hi. Oh, that's so loud. Sorry. This question's for Shannon. I imagine Jason Mewes is probably hilarious to work with, and you and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So, do you have any funny, hilarious blooper that you want to share when you're working with Jason for that movie?
Oh, wow.
I'm sure there's plenty to pick from, but
God, it was so long ago. I don't
I
really
know.
remember any bloopers. I mainly remember sitting in Kevin Smith's office with Jason, and we're just rehearsing and kind of like going in circles back and forth, and Kevin's smoking, and we're doing our lines, and he's correcting, and that was like my first big memory of it, going in and meeting with Kevin, and he thought it was quite funny that I'd never seen any of his movies except Chasing Amy.
Oh, there you go.
And so every time he would introduce me to anybody from that point on, he'd be like, this is Shannon Elizabeth. She hasn't seen any of my movies. He would just keep going around telling people that. I'm like, sorry, okay, I'll watch them, but I still haven't seen them, so.
Okay. All right, that was it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi there, I'm Sydney Storm. I'm from the Nuns of Anarchy. Thanks for being here. The Rulers of Bad Habits. And I worked at the movie theaters when The Big Lebowski came out in American Pie. And it was always really tough to keep underage moviegoers out of your movies, but it was very fun. So my big question to Tara, one of the epic movies you were in is The Big Lebowski. And with all of those actors, some of them getting up there in age that were in that movie, is there any way, has there been any word of them pulling in or writing an epic sequel to that?
I don't think so. I mean, they're supposed to be, there's so many rumors that John Turturro might do kind of like a spin-off from The Big Lebowski, but I mean, there's so many people from The Big Lebowski that are unfortunately not here with us anymore. So to really pull that movie off on a sequel would really not make too much sense.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. When you guys create a character, do you listen to music? Do you let the wardrobe influence you? Do you start with the lines? What's your process?
I mean, for me, wardrobe's a huge part of it. Like a huge, huge part of it. Because when your costume's right and you really feel like you're in the character, it's like when you go out, it's like when you guys go out for Halloween and you wear a certain costume and you feel like that character. You feel like this energy. Or you go out to like a really nice dinner and you have to wear a tuxedo, or your costume really does make a feeling for you. So that's definitely an element to it. But also, I do create the character of how I think she is. Like, Josie and the Pussycats, when I did that one, Melody, like, she's like really, she's a huge airhead, but she's not that dumb. Like, she has like these psychic moments, but yet she says the silliest things. So I made her like have a funny walk and like like a funny laugh, and so you just kind of put these different elements in these characters, and you make it. To me, that's how I make it a character.
Shannon?
I think hair, makeup, wardrobe is a huge part of it. And I think having some secrets that the audience may never see or know about, but you've got your own backstory, or you may have something in your pocket, or you're wearing something that people can't see, but it all helps create the fullness of this character that you don't know why it's coming across, but you'll see somebody do something, you're like, I don't know why I love that, but I love it. And you hope that you can bring out certain things about a character like that it's just because of what's going on in your head. So it influences you in a way that you don't even realize. And if it's something really serious or really different, or there's an accent, I've started trying really hard just to stay in character, even when you're not on screen, because it really helps you, especially when you're doing like a heavy scene and you're emotional. You don't want to be trying to jump in and out of something like that. So quite often I'll just kind of go off on my own in between takes and just stay in that moment. But I mean, it definitely takes a toll on you. So then you also have to know how to shake it off, I think, afterwards.
That's the hard part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Letting go at the end of the day.
Yeah, because, you know, and there's a lot of actors out there that are always playing these heavy roles or emotional roles. And you can see why that could really take a toll on you mentally and emotionally if you can't just, like, leave it behind. And a lot of these actors, like you look like somebody like Sean Penn, who plays these heavy characters, and they're that way for 2, 3, 4 months. Like, you really need a break after that, I think, to like go on vacation and get away for a month and just find yourself again. Because it's hard.
Or Daniel Day-Lewis, who like completely
Yeah,
does not break
exactly.
out of his character at all, which isn't
Yeah.
even method acting. That's just a whole nother level of.
I mean, that's what makes them so great, is they become that character. But that, at the end of the day, that's what makes it so hard for actors sometimes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi.
Hi, I have a question for Tara about Josie and the Pussycats, one of my favorite movies of all time, very guilty pleasure. How much did you guys have to learn as far as the instruments? How much of the music did you guys actually do
That was
yourself?
honestly like the hardest part. We really learned everything. We had to learn like 3 months in advance. We all really played the instruments. Like I really learned how to play the drums. Rachel learned how to play guitar. Rosario played the bass. We sang on the album. I mean, we really played the concert. At the end of the movie, when we go up, it was like full of extras. I felt like a total rock star. It was probably one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my life. I'm like, why am I an actor? Rock star's so much cooler.
It was a great movie. I think more people should see it. Not enough people have.
Thank you.
It was a great movie. Thank you for sharing that. Yes,
Well, since we don't have many people, I'll ask one.
go ahead.
Shannon, how much input, if any, did you have in your death scene in Scream?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
and Scary Movie?
Scary movie, yeah.
None. That was actually the audition scene for getting that role. And I was one of the first people to audition, and I just remember that there was a long table at the back of the room with Keenan and all the producers and everybody. And I'm like, how do you do a scene where your head gets cut off and you still keep like talking? Like, how do you make that work in an audition? Because auditions are the hardest thing when you're not in the moment and you're asking them to believe something that's not actually happening there. So I think last minute I decided that at the moment my head gets chopped off, I crawl up to the front of the table and I get right in front of Keenan and I just put my head on the table. And I just keep doing the scene from there, moving my head. And it made them laugh. And I know that they went across the country for a couple months because he really wanted a blonde for that character. And he really wanted a brunette for the lead. And at the end of the day, he's like, screw it, let's go with the best actors and who made us laugh. And he got me and Anna and everyone together. And I mean, we got really lucky. And that was a role that I was really fighting for. I really wanted that one. So.
Thank you. That
That's a
was
cool
a
story.
great scene.
Oh, cool. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
And you bring up a really interesting point. How is, the audition process? It's so different than when you actually have the job. How do you guys handle that?
I hate auditions. I'm the worst auditioner ever.
I am too.
Like, I don't even know how I'm sitting in this chair. I'm like, how did I even get this far? Because auditions, like, they make you so nervous. You get in this room, and it's like as big as this, and everyone's staring at you, and you're supposed to make something real. And I get nervous, and they expect you, especially at this point in your career where I've done 46 films, that you're not really, I don't have to audition for almost anything anymore. So when I do, there's other girls that aren't famous, but they're like professional auditioners. They're really good at it. It's a skill. So they go in and nail it. And then there's someone like me, you think, oh, I'm gonna go in and nail it, and I suck. I shake, I can't say, I'm the worst auditioner ever. It's really hard. I think it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm the worst
hate
auditioner
it.
as well.
Me too. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I won't get the part if I audition for it, for sure not.
Yeah, agreed.
Hi.
Hello, great to see you both. I know you definitely know Kevin. I know you've worked with Kevin with the Stanley cameo video.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Has Kevin hit you up about the reboot? About the Jane Silent Bob reboot movie?
No, I've heard about it from all of you, but I haven't talked to him in a
All
while.
right. Give him a call.
I
Get
don't
in
know.
that. Give him a call.
You give him a call and let him know.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, you should actually tweet him. because he does read his Twitter.
Yeah, if everyone's social media is Kevin, then maybe we'll do it.
Right on. Awesome.
And you look great, by the way. Oh, nice. You got an award. Sweet. Hi.
Hello, welcome both to Kansas City, and I'm very happy you went to Joe's for the barbecue. But how does your family, and speaking of fame, because you're famous, you've been in films and TV, how does your family treat you differently, if at all? And family and friends, actually.
I guess how is your life kind of, I mean, I guess this would go back to when they first were cast in American Pie, which prior, maybe, you know, not as much visibility, and then afterwards very, very famous.
I don't think my family really treats me. I mean, my real friends, my family don't really treat me that much different. If anything, my friends sometimes are more protective over me when we go out, just because people notice you a lot. So they're more aware, just kind of to protect you, so not 10, like, you know, a million creepy, like, some guy says something bad. So in that way, maybe they're more aware, but otherwise they don't care at all.
Shannon?
I think when you're on a career high, everyone's your friend, and when you're in a low, you realize who your real friends are.
That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any iconic female performances in films stand out to you guys? Any like inspirations, or, you know, for me, Aliens is one.
For me, it would be Patricia Arquette in True Romance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's like my favorite.
What'd you say?
Patricia Arquette in True Romance.
Oh my God, I love True Romance.
Yeah, it's like one of my
Everyone
favorites.
in True Romance.
Yeah, it's like the best
Everyone.
movie.
I know. That was such a great movie.
You know what's funny? You'll all laugh at this, but one of my favorite films growing up, and who I wanted to be more than anybody, was Michelle Pfeiffer in Grease 2.
Why not? Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely loved her.
She was amazing.
And I watched it again the other day, and it holds up. It's amazing. She would hate that, but I love it.
Yeah, she was. It was a great musical.
I think I
Even
told her
Glenn
that once, and she
Close
was
in
like, oh,
Fatal
God,
Attraction.
no.
What'd you say?
Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. She was amazing in that.
So good. Yeah.
See, I like kind of these like crazy movies, even though I don't do them really. But I like that kind of movie.
But now you're moving into the next. I mean, after Sharknado is wrapped up, and you know, you're going to be moving into the next phase. It'll be time to sort of, you know, move in a new
Start
direction.
killing people.
So I think that you need to start. Yeah. But I could totally see you, you know, kind of changing up your look a little bit and going for that more serious like drama at
Absolutely.
that point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not? Hi.
Hi. Shannon, do you still play poker?
I play for charity now. We're actually doing a charity event for my organization in New York on May 24th, and it's a poker tournament. So anybody out there, we're getting everyone there. It's to raise money for Animal Avengers and organization in South Africa we're supporting, because I've actually moved over there now to try to fight the poaching crisis. So I play for that.
Yay. Thank you. You moved to South Africa?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah. I went over there for a couple months in 2015 because my organization I've had since 2001, and it was a dog and cat rescue for 10 years. And I realized, I knew I wanted to help more animals in a much bigger way, and I didn't know what that looked like yet until I realized what was happening in Africa with the poaching. So I went over there to learn for myself firsthand what was going on and try to find ways to help. And I went for 2 months in 2015, 2 months earlier in 2016, and by the end of the year, I said, I'm moving here. So I moved over there in November, and I've been meeting everyone that I can, and really learning who's good, who's doing real work, who's actually making a difference on the ground, and who all's connected, and helping each other, and finding ways that I can help. So that's my whole goal in life now.
Wow, that's amazing. How can people educate themselves? Because you're right, there's so many different organizations. You have to be on the ground to know who's doing the work.
Yeah, and I think if you find a person or organization you trust, then you listen to their recommendations. And I'm actually working with some people to possibly start another organization where we actually do that, and we are curating all the nonprofits, because honestly, apparently, there's over 400 registered rhino-specific charities in South Africa, and there's definitely not 400 doing anything.
Right.
So we want to be able to say, these are the ones that are doing real work, and we tell everyone, if you see an organization that you think you like, ask yourself, and ask them, what have you done? What are you doing day to day? Because a lot of them will post pictures and say, if you want to help animals like this, but they're using an animal that's actually with somebody else's nonprofit, they're visiting the farm, taking a picture with them and saying, support us, and they're not doing anything.
Right.
And that happens quite often. And I mean, I see people doing fundraisers for themselves right now that I know for a fact aren't doing anything. So it's tough.
I think you should definitely start that the organization that will check and be the checks and balances.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely needed, and I think the more that people are held accountable, and like for us, for Animal Avengers, we started a transparency page where we actually post like receipts to things that we buy, and we show you this is what we raised, and this is where it's gone to, and this is who it's gone to, and how it's being used. Because a lot of the bigger organizations, they're maybe putting 15% into the field and the rest is to accounting and, you know, people that work for the organization. And it should be the other way around. And for us, we don't employ anybody. I really want everything possible going to the field. And I like to support the smaller organizations because of that, because they are working that hard.
Absolutely. Good for you. We have time for one more question.
Hi. This is for Shannon. I was just That 70s Show is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I just was wondering, how was your experience on that?
It was so much fun doing that show. You know, I was told ahead of time that that group is a very tight-knit group, and it'd be very hard to fit in. So I think I went in there for rehearsals the first week, and the first night of like our big show night, I brought everyone gifts. I was like, I'm gonna win everyone over with as many gifts as possible.
That's so perfect.
But it was so much fun, and everybody was really cool. And Mila Kunis, her dressing room was right next to mine, and she was just the cutest thing ever because she would just bop into the doorway and be like, "Hi, what are you doing? What's going on? Have you met my dog?" And she was just like all so cute and bouncy and fun. And I'm like, I love you so much. So it was really a fun experience. It's such a great group.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. And Tara and Shannon, thank you guys so much. I've learned so much just about you guys in this half hour, and I really, I think everyone's grateful that you guys came to Kansas City and you're here this weekend.
Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. You guys are here tomorrow too, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're here tomorrow, so make sure you go down and say hi. Tara Reid and Shannon Elizabeth.
Thank you guys.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
everybody doing? Did you have a good day at Planet Comicon? All right, well, I'm going to give you some general announcements because some of you might not have heard. We had some issues earlier, so Summer Glau is not going to be here at 6:30 in this room. She has been rescheduled for tomorrow at room 2103, which is down and across the street. Room 2103 at 3 p.m. So Summer Glau is not going to be here at 6:30 today. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Sunday, 2103. The costume contest is coming up in this room. No more panels. Costume contest is coming up at 7:30. Okay, who's here for the costume contest? All right. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate your patience and your devotion. And don't forget, there's a lot of fun. How many people are coming back tomorrow? All right, we want to see everybody back tomorrow. Thanks a lot for your patience. Good question. Allison Scagliotti is going to be 2 p.m. tomorrow in room 2103. And Jeff Budnick, 4 o'clock in room 2103. Summer Glau, 3 p.m. in room 2103. You guys got it. You guys are awesome, and we really appreciate it. Come back and see Summer and Allison and Jeff tomorrow. Okay, well, duly noted. Thank you.